Hello and welcome back to Never Ruby Inspire. I'm sorry I've been gone for a while. I was away for a funeral and I was also away this week, so I haven't had a chance to upload. But I'm back now, so sorry for a bit of the wait. And this is number 25. Right. Keith hummed as he shifted awake. He buried himself deeper into the pillows, hugging the blankets tighter around himself. The red pattern sighed and relaxed, warm and comfortable. He then blinked and sat up. Lance was gone. He glanced over to the built crib. Keith yawned, ruffling his own hair. Lance must have her, he hummed. He peered around the bed into Berry's den. She was gone too, which was strange. She was never too far from Keith's side. Maybe she's with Roz. He shrugged and got dressed. Keith hummed as he walked down the hall and to the lounge. He walked in and then halted. Lance looked up, then gleamed and stood. There you were. I was just about... Where's Roz? Keith asked firmly, staring at each one of them carefully. Where's Berry? Are they with Alora? The other Paladins blinked and glanced at each other. Babe, Lance stepped forward and took Keith's hand. Roz and Berry are still in our room. Keith frowned. He raised a brow, looking back up at him. No, they're not. I checked twice for Berry and stop joking. Where are they? Lance squeezed Keith's hand. They were in the room, Keith. Both were asleep when... Sorry. Keith, they both were in the room. Were both asleep when I left. Let's go check. I already did, Keith ground out, tears in his hands from Lance, tearing them away. What kind of mum would I be if I didn't see my own baby in my room? So stop fucking with me and tell me where she is. The blue pattern jerked back. Then all of them jumped as the doors opened and Laura ran in. Her eyes widened and dress a mess. The security system has been hacked. Lotor can get into the castle. Peach fingered through her hair and thought for a moment and then dashed over to Keith and Lance, both panicking. Shiro curiously wrapped his arm around Keith's shoulder. Keith leaned on him but didn't relax. Lance began to pace as silence dragged on. The green pattern suddenly halted. There had been seemingly weakened points and breaking down the security system right under our noses. The blue pattern shifted, stopping in his tracks. Keith gently pushed Shiro off and stepped closer. How? There must be some bug or something. I can't find it anywhere in the system. So it has to be a physical bug. Maybe something latched on the outside of the ship. Pidge's eyes searched the scans and each screen. She swiped through. Keith gulped. So where the hell is my daughter and my cat? Karan and Laura stepped forward, over the front of the control panel. Loitor's general smuck on board. The paladins looked up at them. Alora's head lowered. Karan breathed deeply for concerning. "I'm just checking the footage. It seems that they're dragging temporary down the system on the general stuck on board, leading through the ship. Just a tick after Lance left the room. She must be in and came and took later with Rosalind and took the cat. In one of the arms are nuzzling and chaining Barry in the other." Keith trembled, staring at Karan in disbelief. He shook heavily as he choked on a sob, hands ruffling on his face. Oh God, this is my fault," Lance muttered, expression absolutely mortified. Matthew provided a sharp turn and grabbed Lance's shoulder. "Don't even think like that," he shouted, his eyes wide. "Not even for a second." Lance shook. His breathing became heavy as his skin paler. His head snapped up as Keith cried and fell to his knees. Lance pushed Matthew aside and scrambled into the floor to the Red Paladin. He dropped in front of Keith and gathered him in his arms. Keith buried himself into Lance, clutching onto him as he wept. Shiro clenched his jaw, looked up at Alora. "We need to find that bug, tear it apart, and get Roz back right now. Pidge, connect with Kolovon. Matthew, connect with the Freedom Fighters. We're getting everyone, and we can do this to make sure Roz is back with us, safe as soon as possible. Preferably in the Varga, sooner." Lance and Keith were forced into their room, and the door was locked from the outside. Lance placed as Keith stood by the crib. "How did I not wake up?" Lance paused. Keith reached in and grabbed Rosalind's favourite blanket, the blue one. "She wasn't more than 5 feet away. Barry wasn't even that far either." His voice broke. Slowly, Lance stepped closer, then wrapped his arms around Keith. Keith buried his face in Lance's shoulder, biting back more sobs. "It's my fault. If I had just turned around, I had bad feeling and I ignored it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Keith." Keith shook his head and showed in a sharp breath. "I just want them back," he whispered, clinging his fingers into Lance's shirt and Rosalind's blanket. Lance nodded, tangling his fingers into Keith's hair as he pulled back to look at him in the eyes while he had his back to Keith. He turned around and stared right again in his eyes. "We'll have her back, Keith." "Aunts, he'll kill her." Keith gripped Lance's wrists, but he didn't push him away. "She's barely a month old. She hasn't even smiled yet. She hasn't even said her first word. Rolled for the first time. She hasn't taken her first steps." The blue paladin pet Keith's hair back and kissed his forehead. "We'll get her back, Keith. Barry will protect her until we'll have her back again." Keith, hesitant but slowly, nodded. They made a mistake bringing Barry with them, he muttered, then paused. Keith blinked. Lance. A sly smirk built on Lance's face. Barry, you wouldn't believe it. A big mistake. And they'll realise. Barry has a tracker on her collar. Alright, that's the end of that one. Sorry it was so long since I've upgraded. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed it. See you soon.